how to get more YouTube views. Because let's face it, we are all hungry for more views. And the way I see it, there are really three main ways to get more real and free views on your videos. The first of those is promotion, the second is ranking in search results, and the third is suggested videos. Now, that first point I mentioned about promoting your videos on other websites and platforms to bring in more YouTube views, well, that deserves its own separate video. So you can go and watch that there, or maybe it's there, but I highly recommend you do check that out because it's a very important point. But then make sure you definitely come back to this video because we're gonna be going through those other two methods which are equally crucial of ranking in YouTube search and getting in suggested videos. And once you master all three of those, well then, I hope you brought a life jacket because you're gonna be drowning in views. That's really cringy. Okay, let's start with search though, because I think from your very first video, this is something you should be considering and something you can definitely optimize for right from the get-go. And not only that, YouTube is actually the second largest search engine in the world, owned by the first largest search engine in the world. So it's kind of a 2-for-1 deal. If you can rank in the YouTube search, you might also rank in the Google search, so it's just gonna bring you even more traffic and views to your videos. Now, when it comes to the search algorithm and ranking your video in the search results, the truth is there are a lot of factors that go into that. But one of the biggest of all, and something that is fully within our control, is the title of your video. And this is something that a lot of YouTubers, when they're first starting out, kind of get wrong because they look at what the big YouTubers are doing. And the problem there is that those big YouTubers already have a built-in following, and so to them it doesn't matter as much that their title isn't very searchable. Instead, they're trying to go for almost kind of clickbaity titles that entice people in, which is obviously good, but for us, when we don't have that built-in audience who are gonna get pushed that video, that means we need to make sure our videos do have searchable terms so that people who are actively looking for that kind of content can actually find it. For example, if we say there's a title of a video that a big YouTuber uses, like, "Can't believe he just did that," something like that, that might get a lot of clicks, but when a new YouTuber posts that, well, they haven't really got that following who are gonna click on it, and no one's searching for "Can't believe he just did that." So let's reverse engineer what people are actually typing in the search box. What are people looking for? What questions are they asking that we can then answer as the subject of our video? And this is something we cover exclusively in the YouTube Magnates course. So if you are interested in that at all and learning this in more depth, check out the free masterclass in the link below. But the next most important consideration when it comes to ranking your videos in search to get more YouTube views is what you actually say in the video. And this is something I don't really hear people talking about much, and maybe most people just don't even know about it. And that is that YouTube look at the actual words you're saying, what I'm saying right now. Because if you think about it, from YouTube's point of view, they want to make sure that they're matching the right videos to the right people. And when they let other people decide, what they want their tags and description to be, they can kind of cheat the system almost by trying to put in keywords and phrases that aren't necessarily relevant to the video. Whereas when YouTube look at what is actually being said in the video, it can get a better idea of what the video is really about. So it's a better system for them. And that means for us, we need to be thinking about the words we're actually saying in the video, especially right at the beginning, those first 30 seconds. If you can throw in a couple of key phrases that you want to rank for in search within those first 30 seconds and maybe repeat them throughout the videos a couple of times, well, that's all just going to give the algorithm another indication that this video is a good match for those search terms. You'll notice the very first thing I said at the start of this video is how to get more YouTube views. Now, that alone, of course, is not going to massively boost the rankings, but it's just giving the algorithm another indication of what this video is about, and it's going to help that little bit extra. So definitely start bearing in mind what you're actually saying in your videos, because that is definitely a key ranking factor. Of course, don't go over the top with that and try and keyword stuff loads of different phrases right at the beginning of your video. You need to do it in a natural way. Now, the third element of ranking in search that we can control is the description, and to an even lesser extent, the tags. And I say that because a lot of people really hype up the importance of tags, but in truth, YouTube are valuing them much less as time goes on. And so I'm not saying you shouldn't still use them, you definitely should, but from my testing, both with myself and with clients and from research I've done, don't spend too long on tags. Definitely do keyword research, but focus on actually getting the title right and then repeating those keywords that you want to rank for in the description. You know, provide a full description, a couple of paragraphs, that's YouTube's recommendation, that accurately describe the video, making sure to include a couple of key phrases that people would be typing in the search box. That's the key here. That's the method I like to use. Think about what people are actually going to be typing, not just what sounds good, you know, because then you're kind of reverse engineering what search results are going to be showing. Because if someone's searched a specific question and that happens to be the exact title of your video, you've repeated that exact question in your description, you've said it in your video, all of this kind of stuff, then that's just all going to boost your chances of ranking for it. And although I haven't written the description and tagged to this video yet, you can pretty much guarantee there are going to be some things along the lines of how to get more YouTube views in 2020, how to grow your YouTube views, all that kind of stuff, different variations of that people might be typing in the search box. And once again, just to stress, we're not spamming the description with loads and loads of variations of the same key phrase. We're picking a couple and writing a natural sounding paragraph, because the algorithm is clever. It can tell if someone is just listing out keywords trying to rank for them. It's not going to help as much as they think. So remember, description and tags, not as vital as most people make out, but still very worth doing, and definitely worth linking with whatever keyword phrase you've used for the title of your video. But do you want a fourth and final bonus tip for ranking in search? Something that pretty much no one ever talks about? Sure, why not? And that is to rename the video file before you upload it, because most people don't ever think about this, and it'll just say something like vid0004.mp4 and they'll upload that. But YouTube actually look at the video file's name, and that is another little factor that influences your search ranking. So include your keywords in that as well. It all helps and adds to the bigger picture of getting your videos ranked in search. But you might now be thinking, well, yeah, that's all well and good, but how do I actually know what phrases I want to be ranking for? You know, it's one thing to guess what we think people are typing in the search box, but what if you could actually know what they're typing? And you can. One of the easiest ways to do that is if you start typing your question that you have in mind that your video is going to answer, then the YouTube search box will auto-complete some of the most commonly typed things. So this will allow you to find different variations of your title, and it's a good way of actually getting ideas for content, because you know these are things that people are actively searching for and looking for. They want the answers to those things. So that's a great starting point. Another thing is there are several different keyword research tools you can use. They're not amazing, to be honest. They give you some idea. You don't rely on these solely, but it's an extra layer you can do to get some ideas. So here are a couple that I've found to be quite useful and I've heard people recommending. Another thing you can do though is if you've got a plugin like TubeBuddy or vidIQ, you can see the tags that other people have entered on their videos. So if you're making a similar video, you can go in and see which tags they're ranking for, which are working best, maybe use a couple of those, and that's going to help your video show up next to that video potentially, and it's going to show you what tags have been working well for that person that you can incorporate yourself. A final thing though for getting ideas for these tags and these keyword phrases and all of this stuff is to use Google Trends to see what people are actively typing on Google, because that's again going to give you some more inspiration for what you can be using on YouTube. And YouTube themselves recommend you use this, so it makes sense that you would test out using Google Trends for your videos to get ideas for what to rank for. Hopefully you're still with me at this point, you're still following along. I appreciate I am throwing a lot of information at you right now, but all this stuff really can make a difference, and if it's going to help you get more views on your videos, then it's absolutely worth it, right? So a very final point I want to mention about search is the fact that obviously some keyword phrases are going to be very, very competitive, and certainly this video, how to get more YouTube views, well, that is extremely competitive. Those tools I mentioned earlier, vidIQ and TubeBuddy, they both have features where you can kind of gauge a rough idea of how competitive a search term is. Again, take it with a grain of salt, but it gives you an idea. What I would recommend here, when you're a new channel or a relatively small channel, is to really focus on long tail keywords. So you'll notice this video isn't just how to get more YouTube views, it's how to get more YouTube views in 2020. And the reason for that is adding the date on the end is a great little bonus tip, because some people will be specifically searching for a video that answers their question in this specific year because they want the most up-to-date information. They don't want a video from 5 years ago because searches changed since then. And so adding the year is one example of that, but there are a lot of things you can add on the end of your main question or your main title that make it more specific and more niche. And that's the game we want to play. We can't be expecting to rank #1 for an incredibly popular and common question, but we can expect to rank quite well for a more specific question or a common question but with extra information on the end. So for example, say you're making a video on how to do something. Rather than just titling it how to do something, maybe you try and rank for how to do something for beginners. And just by adding that extra bit on the end, that long tail, you're increasing your chances of ranking in search because someone might be specifically looking for a beginner guide on that topic. And so they're going to be searching that specific search phrase in the search box, and your video is going to match that exactly. So think about the competitiveness, think about how you can make your title and questions and keyword phrases that little bit longer, that extra bit of information, because that's how you're going to be able to win even as a fairly small channel. Now, I appreciate so far this has been quite theoretical information, so let's look at a practical example from this channel you're watching right now, my own personal channel, and that is with the Unlikely Mentors series I've done, which is looking at business and self-development lessons from popular TV characters and film characters. Now, if we take two different examples here to contrast them, one is the Michael Scott leadership video, which at the time of posting this video, I think it's got around 12 or 13,000 views. Nothing crazy at all, but the vast majority of those are from YouTube search, and it's getting new views every single day from YouTube search. But contrast that with the video on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia and how to get rich with lessons from the gang. In my opinion, the videos are of equal quality. There's not really a huge difference between them in that way. But one of them is getting lots of traffic from search, pretty much all the traffic is coming from search. The other video, the Always Sunny one, is getting virtually 0 views from search. Why is that? Well, when we think about it, Michael Scott leadership is something that people might think to look for. Although he is clearly not a conventional leader, it's a logical assumption that he is a leadership figure. And what I've realized from looking at the comments is other people have had that thought of, oh yeah, I've always thought, although he's a bit of a, ridiculous leader at times, he does have some genuine points that are associated with leadership. He is a boss. And so people do think to actually type that into the search box to see if anyone else has had that thought and made a video on it, which I have. But with the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, How to Get Rich video, no one's looking for lessons from the gang on how to make more money. It's not a link people are making. Nobody is typing that search term. And so this just illustrates that point I was saying before about how we want to be reverse engineering what people are typing into the search box and using that as our titles, using those keyword phrases in our descriptions and tags. Phew. Okay, so that kind of covers the fundamentals of search at least. And we've already said that there's a separate video you can go and watch on actually promoting your videos. So in terms of those 3 core ways of getting more YouTube views, in terms of real and free YouTube views on your channel, the only one left now is ranking in suggested videos, being one of those videos that YouTube recommends either in the sidebar, on the home page, YouTube pushing the content to people on your behalf. And this is perhaps the most crucial way of all to really get your videos to take off, because once YouTube starts suggesting your video, it can just blow up. And one of the best strategies I can give you for helping you to display more in suggested videos is to form strong connections between different videos on your channel. And one of the best ways of doing this is with a clear call to action at the end of a video to go and watch another related video of yours. And that works really well because obviously if someone has made it to the end of one of your videos, you know they're interested in that topic or that kind of video, and so the chances are they would enjoy or find useful that other video of yours. But the problem is most people just wrap their videos up by saying, oh, thanks for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe, so on. Maybe even after they finish talking, they do have a couple of end cards, but the problem is they're not really having that clear call to action. And when you do have that clear call to action, it means a lot of people will go and watch that next video that you recommend. And when YouTube sees that, you kind of train the algorithm that these videos are connected, they're related, and they should be suggested together. And once this happens more and more of your videos are interconnected, it means YouTube will start recognizing this. They'll see that, oh, people watch this video and then they watch another one of his. Oh, and then they go and watch this video of his. We better suggest all of these videos when they're on this one video. And so, like I said, you're kind of training the algorithm by doing this. And I know a lot of top YouTubers do this. I've seen Evan Carmichael be very vocal about this strategy. Kevin David uses it. I've definitely seen results from using it myself, and I've definitely seen results with my clients from using it. So it just makes sense to end your videos in this way with a very clear call to action to go and watch another related video of yours. Or something I really like is go and send them to watch a related playlist of yours. If you can make a playlist with content that's going to be very relevant to the video they're on right now, then that's ideal, because once they get into that playlist, it's going to autoplay with more and more videos, which again is going to train the YouTube algorithm. These videos are connected, we should suggest them more together. But now a final point I want to make about getting more YouTube views is something that is bound to cross your mind at some point when you're not getting the views you want, which is, should I just buy some YouTube views? Should I get the ball rolling and get some social proof by buying views from one of these dodgy websites? And the real answer is no, you probably shouldn't, because not only is it one against the YouTube rules anyway, so there's a chance that it could end badly, you could get penalized for that, but even more so, even if it does work and it goes fine, they don't get removed, because quite often they would get found out at some point. Even if none of that does happen, the fact is, because they're fake views, they're not going to give you any real watch time, and watch time is the key metric that matters. And so what actually happens is when you buy fake views, it can often work against you, because YouTube sees this influx of traffic, but if there's no watch time for it, they're just like 1 second views or just a couple of seconds, it's going to conclude from that that the people who came and watched the video didn't like it and it wasn't a good video, and so it's not going to recommend it more. And what we want is views from people who have a high retention rate, who watch a lot of the video. It's better to have a smaller number of views but a higher retention rate than get 100,000 fake views that all watch it for a couple of seconds, because YouTube is going to see that as a massive red flag and not promote the video at all. So although buying views can give you that slight self-confidence boost, the reality is it's actually probably doing more harm than good to your channel and your videos. So no, I do not think it's a good strategy. If you do have money that you are willing to invest in getting more views on your channel, then I think that can work, but you need to spend that on legitimate ways of promoting those videos and promoting them in places where your actual target audience is. And maybe that is just using the YouTube ad system and typing in the different demographics and different audiences you want to reach, because then you can be quite specific about who you target. And although this would be more expensive, you know, per view it'll work out as more money, the fact that they are real views, this actually is a win-win scenario, because number one, they're a real person, so they might like the channel, subscribe, and then see more of your content for free without you having to pay for the views. And the second part of this is that, again, it trains the algorithm who the right audience for your videos are, because at the beginning it doesn't really know, it doesn't quite understand what this video, what audience it's meant for. Whereas if you can pay to promote your videos and get them seen by your ideal audience, well, that's going to be great news, because the algorithm is then going to learn, oh, these kind of people are the people who like it, and so it's going to try and push it more to those kind of people, which again is why the fake views thing is terrible, because if all those views are from a click farm, unless your target audience is click farm users, then it's going to get pushed to all the wrong people. Now, this has already been a lot of information, so I'm going to leave this here, but just rest assured that after a lot of implementation on my own channel and with my clients and with research and testing, these practices have been proven to work. So I'm confident they can get you some more views for your videos and channel. But if you're really serious about building a business with YouTube and not just doing it as a side thing, but actually making real money from it, allowing you to live the laptop lifestyle of, living on your own terms, traveling when you want to travel, all of that kind of stuff that we've talked about on this channel before, well, check out the top link in the description of this video, because I'm going to explain exactly how I've been able to do that myself, even with a relatively small amount of videos and subscribers. I was able to do this with around 1,000 subscribers was when I started, because I was following a business model. I was being a YouTube magnate, not trying to be a YouTuber. And so definitely, if you're interested in all of this stuff, go and check out that link, because I think it's going to be really relevant and helpful and get you thinking about YouTube in a different way that allows you to potentially go full-time with it yourself. So hopefully that's all been useful, and if you do want more YouTube content from me, then I'm about to follow my own advice and send you to this playlist right here, which is full of more YouTube gems to grow your channel, grow your brand, and get you the success you want. So go check that out right now. I'm confident it's going to be helpful for you. Thanks for watching. Cheers.